Is YouTube shutting us down?
Sorry, my internet's a piece of shit and sucks. So we're talking about Ozzy, and I couldn't quite pick him because he only had like, there's the first two Ozzy records which are brilliant, because we're Black Sabbath is a whole different entity now. So you got the first two, then you've got Bark, then you got Ultimate Sin. I love all four of those records, and then right after that, nothing really after that really grabs me. But almost their entire catalog, Overkill, gets no love.
Yeah, Overkill came to my mind.
This is my favorite Overkill record. Nice. I Hear Black.
I'm just not that deep into
Love this band. Again, very unique singer, very amazing band. Maybe this is why we don't get any. People don't watch our stuff because our internet's so crappy.
No, it's because you love bands like Overkill.
Right?
No.
Listen to Overkill. Do yourself a favor, man. Get away from the big four sometimes. Take a break. Yeah. Listen to some Overkill.
Dude, I liked them when I first started seeing them on Headbangers Ball. And it wasn't even too long ago, I got a reissue of, what's the one they have? It's called Taking Over.
Yeah, it could be. They've got like
it's 15, one of their early
16,
ones.
17 records.
It's one of their early ones. I also have an EP that's got a cover.
I love them.
I really liked them, but I didn't follow them.
Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, I think, is the lead
singer. And they I would give them credit also for being a band of the thrash era and really copy that style exactly. Like they were kind of speed thrash, kind of their own.
I love Anthrax, so don't take this as anti-Anthrax anything, because I think they're great. But how did Anthrax get in the big four over Overkill?
Oh, come on. I mean, they're just higher profile. I mean, Among the Living was a huge record. They crossed over with the doing the track with Public Enemy.
I love them, but
I think they're.
Bang for bang, discography for discography. Their high, Anthrax's high is way higher.
Yeah.
But their lows are way lower.
Well, they're just more commercially viable, dude. I think really.
Okay, time all the way out. You can't use commercial viability when you're talking about metal music. That has to go out the window. The fact that it's commercially viable may not want to listen to it.
I'm just trying to say that's
the Black Album's commercially viable, and we both hate it.
I know. What I meant by that was that's probably how they became a higher profile band.
You're probably right.
With more fans. More fans than Overkill. Overkill's too streety. Man, was tough for me. I mean, I wasn't going to.
You went to the outfield?
No, I went in a weird,
Paul Oakenfield. Tubular Bells.
I love Paul Oakenfield, man. I wasn't going to pick Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
Oh, how'd I leave them off?
I thought about Shuggy Otis, but he doesn't have. He was he was kind of a psychedelic blues soul kind of guy. The Outfield. But there's not that many. Oingo Boingo, but I'm not that.
They didn't have
that big on Oingo Boingo. So I picked an artist. It's actually two people's name. This artist had a major impact on me, even though they really only produced like 3 songs. They came from the background of being musicians who worked with other musicians, and they helped write material. But on Breaking 1 and Breaking 2, Ollie and G created the theme music to these movies. And so the song Ain't No Stopping Us.
Who defiles their records like this?
A radio station.
Disgusting.
I actually have an undefiled sealed copy of this.
Oh, look how wonderful Lucinda Dickey was.
Yeah.
We just lost one of these recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we lost.
Shabadoo.
Yeah, that was Ozone in the movie.
So great.
His name was Adolfo Quinones.
Yes.
Adolfo Shabadoo Quinones.
Those are brilliant records.
He died during COVID, but I don't know if it was COVID. He got sick and thought he was better, and then he died. And that was really sad. So Ollie and Jerry's kind of a weird pick. They also do Showdown, which is another instrumental jam on here. And it's hard to explain. It's kind of an electro funk of the hip hop era, West Coast popping and locking kind of music, and it just has meant a lot to me in my life.
Good stuff on here. Ain't Nobody, Reckless by Ice-T.
Early cut with Ice-T on it. Ain't Nobody is
Freak Show on the dance floor. Come on, man. Ain't No Stopping. Electric Boogaloo,
which is Ollie and Jerry doing the theme song to
When I See You, like intensive care unit. I love it.
That's also all.
Just an unabashed.
But that is all they did.
I have an unabashed love for these two movies, and I don't even care.
I've got the DVDs and double copies on VHS. You know how I am.
Those DVDs are so expensive.
I also have double copies of each of these records.
So expensive. God, I've been trying to hunt them down on Blu-ray. Forget it, dude. It's like triple digits.
That's ridiculous.
What do we got? Okay. I hemmed and hawed with N. Luckily, Jay went in a direction I was thinking about going into. He went Night Ranger, band that I absolutely love. I had a hard time. Was I going to go Night Ranger? Was I going to go NWA to be contrarian? But I couldn't. So again, I went with my gut. Who do I love the most? 9 Inch Nails.
I knew it.
I think I have all but maybe one or two of their albums. I love them all. He's a genius. And if you really, really, really love this band and their music, he can do so much with it. They have I don't know if they're in a club or in a room somewhere, but it seems like there's a dude on the drums. It might be Atticus Ross. Trent on the bass. Twiggy Ramirez on guitar. And Peter Murphy on vocals.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It is jaw-dropping.
Did you show that to me?
I think I sent you some of those things. Super stripped-down version of Reptile, which is brilliant. So, yeah, a 9 Inch Nails, it had to be. Ever since that very first Head Like a Hole, I saw that. And then that's not even the best song on that record. So
I go for Down in It. That's my track off that record.
Love that.
Terrible Lie.
Terrible Lie, I love. So it was just a lot of what he was talking about, stuff that I really needed to hear. So
that's cool, man.
I love 9 Inch Nails. Unabashed 9 Inch Nails fanatic.
I'm not hating on that pick, especially if you deeply know their music. If you continue to listen to everything he's made, I respect that.
Been with them forever.
So my first pick for N, I kind of struggled with N. My first pick was a band I know you don't care for as much as I do. I was going to go with Nirvana. Big band for me.
I would understand. I would have completely.
I still love them. It's pretty obvious.
I mean, Bleach was just. Yeah, Bleach is so good.
Bleach rules. It still holds up to me as.
I'll still listen to that next one every now and then. I don't like it as much as when I very first heard it before it hit the zeitgeist and everybody just fawned over it. That's when
I was turned off to it for years.
But it
was hard to deal with it being
brilliant.
Played so much. But I went with somebody that actually is more emotionally moving for me.
Juice Newton?
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Dude. Call Me Stranger in the Morning.
Harry Nilsson. Oh, that's another person. See, I was going to not go with people by their name.
I love it when you break your own rules that nobody made you follow in the first place.
I know. It was a stupid rule, probably. Because never mind. As much as I love Nirvana and think that There's a lot of emotional weight in Nirvana's music. Not like this guy. This guy squeezes my heart so gently, but also slaps me in the face at the same time.
You pay
Freaking
extra
weirdo.
for that in some countries.
Yeah. Freaking weirdo. He was kind of like a.
There's a whole lot of I don't give a fuck in that album cover.
Oh man, yeah. Harry Nilsson was kind of like a rode hard, put away wet kind of dude who also just had this glimmering child in his eyes, and I don't know, he drank himself to death, but wrote many amazing tunes. So,
well, I think that brings us to end.
M's a motherfucker, dude. There's some heavyweights in there.
I tried very, 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 very hard to be contrarian for M. I was just gonna spit in the face of convention. I was gonna take Mr. Bungle, and then when I saw that Jay picked Metallica, I was like, I bet he's going to pick Metallica. Then I'll pick Megadeth just to have an argument. But then I said that wouldn't be true to who I am and how important those first 4 records were. Because we were on the front lines for every single one of them.
You know, you might as well call it first 5. Because I got Metal Up Your Ass.
Oh, hell yeah.
The demo recordings.
Yeah,
I had to go with Metallica.
It's the most important bands in my entire life. Like we were there for it. I remember when the first one hit. I remember when this one hit. I remember getting Master. I remember waiting in line to get Justice from the Works when that came out. They've been a part of me, and it's why it hurts that they suck now. It hurts because they were so important to who I was growing up and being an outsider and being, labeled weird or geeky or goofy, and you're not mainstream, you're not this. But I had Metallica and they weren't either. And we were all in this together.
Yeah.
And then
I think
I can't deny the power that they held over me.
I think with their commercial success and then kind of subsequent, whatever the case, people would have a hard time looking at them now. At least people kind of outside the sphere we came up in have a hard time looking at them and seeing that they were an underground outsider band, that it was not mainstream music, that it was in 85, 86, 84. If you were listening to that stuff, you were an outsider, especially going to a Catholic school, man.
Yeah, I know you look on the interwebs, and I am not an attractive human being. And I don't think I've ever really been an attractive human being, but every now and then
you're actually a pretty good looking dude. You just hide behind that beard.
Hit a grand slam every now and then. I was dating this girl who lived in LA, who was a model. And, she wasn't a supermodel. She wasn't hitting the world on fire, but she calls me and she's like, I'm fucking in the Metallica video. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to be in a Metallica video? Yeah, it hasn't hit yet. It's coming out. So it's Until It Sleeps. When that video hits, make sure you tell me. So I turn it on. Video comes up. I look through the whole thing. I don't see her. I was like, I don't want to break your heart, girl, but you ain't in this video. She's like, they cut me out. Oh, shit. Left her on the cutting room table.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's my almost Metallica story.
So I've been saying for a long time that Metallica, it's like my biggest musical heartbreak.
Yeah.
They broke my heart, man. I don't expect a band to stay the same and keep doing the same shit. I don't even really very often want to follow a band for 30 years, unless they maybe space it out and always make really quality art, quality music. But with the Black Album and everything after.
The only thing that was decent about the Black Album is Newsted's bass lines.
And there's moments of good material, but overall it falls short for me.
It's heartbreaking.
It has shit that annoys me.
Heartbreaking.
And then if you try to watch Metallica play live, like I watch it for like the sort of car crash effect. Like I watch YouTube videos. They're horrible live. Who would pay $250 to go see that shit?
People think it's great. Like it's like lounge singer.
They can't even play their own songs anymore.
It's got no real.
They can't even play their own shit anymore.
Well, you knew that was going to happen when they started playing. Like they don't play really anything off of Justice. They play like this.
Yeah.
Like 4-song. Like they just mash it all up and just play some of the licks, and then they stop because they're like, well, I don't want to play this shit. It's too hard.
Yeah, they suck.
I don't know what Jason's thinking with L. He picked Lemon Skinhead. Leonard Skinner.
Oh,
I fucking hate that racist ass hillbilly rock shit. I don't know. I thought we were going to be on the same page, but apparently not. Where you at, Jay? Lemon Skinhead over Led Zeppelin? Come on, baby.
If I didn't pick Led Zeppelin, I would have to say that L is a pretty tough letter for me. That I couldn't think of very many bands like.
L was so not a tough letter for me. There is no one that even comes close.
Well, I agree, but I was trying to think: is there anybody else that I would pick that I love?
Loverboy.
I actually love Cyndi Lauper, but Led Zeppelin.
I actually really, really do love Loverboy, but they don't touch Zeppelin. Like, give me a break.
Zeppelin's one of the most important bands that's ever been.
My favorite band of all time.
For real?
Ever.
For real?
Zeppelin is my absolute.
I don't think I knew that.
Absolute 100%.
I don't think I realized that was your
time. That is my
all-time top.
All-time.
I can't argue with that.
It's not even. I don't even really listen to those first 2 records. Maybe not even the first 3. Everything from
okay, but come on, dude.
No, I'm not saying they're great. I just don't tap into these.
They're a little more primitive.
Right.
Yeah.
They got so better so fast when they kind of broke out of that. Let's just play these bluesy kind of things again, and then they let themselves expand.
I feel you. My favorite song by Zeppelin is not on my favorite Zeppelin album, but Over the Hills and Far Away.
Okay,
that's probably my favorite song. But I still think Whole Lot of Love is one of the most incredibly mind-melting. It's a feat for the ages that song was created and recorded the way it was.
That's my favorite Zeppelin track.
But the other night I was listening to, I had to hear In the Light.
I love that song.
God, that song is phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal.
What
would be a favorite Zepp tune for you?
Wow. It becomes. So Kashmir is my favorite Zeppelin song.
That's massive.
When the Levee Breaks would be 2. And No Quarter would be 3.
Can't argue that, dude.
Yeah, they just.
Another one of my faves is on Physical Graffiti. It's
that's my
Custard Pie.
That's probably my favorite.
Custard Pie is one of my favorite tunes.
Physical Graffiti's dope, and everything.
I don't rock the drums really these days, but I learned to play rock drumming because my teacher at the time, he knew I had some mental aptitude to understand some other kinds of drum theory, percussion, the written musical theory in drumming and percussion, but he knew I just wanted to rock out. He could tell that I wanted to play rock music with friends and stuff. And the greatest thing that he could have done for me, he just knew. He brought in all of the biggest Zeppelin tunes, John Bonham's parts transcribed in sheet music, and he just walked me through all of it. And it wasn't that I was trying to learn to play Zeppelin tunes, but it was the way that John Bonham syncopated between his ride, kick, and snare that drove Zeppelin grooves, and that's how I learned to play rock music.
Back behind the kit, man. You can't just let it.
Yeah.
Put it in the kitchen. I'll play it.
I want to let real musicians do their thing, you
know. Kay probably wasn't close either. If I'm being, I tried to be like, let me get cutesy and put in creator. No, it's not close. It can only ever be one effing band. Everybody knows what it is. Jason picked Kiss. You wanted the best. You got the best. The hottest band in the land.
Yes.
Kiss. Ever since I was 5 or 6 years old, baby. It's always been Kiss. They opened the door for me to love everything hard rock and heavy metal. If it wasn't for Kiss, it would have taken way, way longer to find all this other stuff. All the love. When I saw this as a kid, I was like, it got no better.
Yeah.
1977, 78, you're 5 or 6 years old. There ain't nothing like this. You pick this up and it's playing on the stereo behind you and you're looking at those pictures and your brain is going wherever it's going. Could only be Kiss.
Let's say this. This is a phenomenon that I have been hearing for a long, long time, decades. And this is unique to the band Kiss. And it's not in any way to diminish the quality of their music, because I think Kiss made great music. But every kid from a relative age range, or every person, we're in our deep 40s here. Before you even had a reference for who Kiss was, before you knew what their music sounded like, when you saw a picture of them, some of us just knew we had to find out about that.
Yes.
And we were not disappointed either. It was exactly what we wanted it to be. I've talked to so many people that had the same experience. I just saw a picture of Kiss when I was like 4 years old and knew that was the cool shit. Maybe that makeup appeals to little kids. I don't know, but
I think I've told the story before. I walked into my friend's house, George Lottritz, and he walked through this like little area, and you could careen off into the living room or this section they had, and that's where their stereo was. And his brother John, who was older than we were, was playing Kiss, and I instantly was like, hold on, what's this? I want to know what this is. And of course, anybody's older brother is going to be cool by default because they're older than you. And when I asked him what it was, and he handed me the album cover, it was a wrap. It was over.
Yeah. It was done. And all the people out there who don't think Kiss is cool, and they think that Kiss is lowbrow and beneath all the other hip, sophisticated music they love, you're wrong. Kiss made rad music. They dominated the world with it.
Did you who did you go with, Kay? You didn't go
I love your guys' Kiss pick, but this band means a lot to me.
Okay, yeah. Right, when you pulled it out, I was like, that's right. You're super big.
Love Kraftwerk, and when I thought of Kay, this was the first one. I don't even want to waste time. Just something beyond the idea of these guys sort of playing synthesizers and computers and seeming to be like, Android people. They actually, to me, represent something truly organically human and humanitarian. And so just go deep on some Kraftwerk. Try to get into that shit. But I think Kiss is a great pick.
Had to. Couldn't go with anyone other than that. And I don't think it's going to be a Shaka Who. I don't think it's going to be a Shaka Who. A lot of these are coming up. Jay obviously picked Priest. I tried really, really hard to pick Journey. I had them in my hand. I really wanted to. But come on, man. It had to be. There is no other band.
There's some other good J bands.
There are some great J bands, but none of them had me
James Gang, Jane's Addiction,
Jane's Addiction.
Journey.
But again, and I love Jane's Addiction, and I love Journey.
You could go Janis Joplin.
And I don't like her. And I've been on their train for forever, but nothing like
overall
50
impact,
years of heavy metal with Judas Priest.
Yeah, overall impact. We already did a Judas Priest album ranking episode. Just
I don't think the next one's going to shock anybody. I tried to pick Icon.
Okay, we're at I.
We only have 2 really good records, and then they kind of fell apart. Jay obviously picked Iron Maiden. Come on, man. Of course.
Yeah. I should have picked Iron Maiden. I mean, I did. They actually were on my list. And I changed my mind.
I just don't even know what you're going to come up with that's as epic as this Derek Riggs artwork for the greatest live record ever.
Can we do the... Before we started the broadcast here, we had this 5-minute discussion about the artwork to the new album. And every single one of Derek Riggs' original album covers and the covers for the singles, they're artistic masterpieces. Now, what do they got? Somebody using Photoshop to do some shit?
So terrible.
There's not even any. It's just a picture of a figure. There's not even a contextual background.
It's not even drawn. Nobody drew it. It's just trash. It's so horrible.
I think you already talked about it at the beginning of the show, but yeah, it's really frustrating, man.
What they've done with their album covers is as heartbreaking as what Metallica's done with their music. Maiden and Priest. Couldn't have been anybody else. It had to be Maiden and Priest.
Dude, Maiden.
Go ahead, disappoint me.
I know.
Disappoint
me. It's not that much of a disappointment because I broke my rule again.
Okay, it's not that disappointing. I'll allow it. Billy Idol's dope, though.
I picked Billy Idol over Iron Maiden simply because I find Billy almost to be an underdog in today's world. I think he is a motherfucking songwriting genius, a pop visionary, comes out of the punk world, teams up with a radical shredding guitarist and Steve, sets his musical sort of mood against a kind of dystopian metropolis background.
Huge in the 80s. Huge.
And I just... As I get older, I just appreciate Billy Idol more and more.
That is a definite. That is a definite.
This was a single for Rebel Yell.
That is a definite. Oh,
yeah. You know, I wasn't gonna fuck up that bad.
I'm surprised I didn't guess that going in. That's almost heartbreaking. With H, Jay picked Heart, which is a great pick. That's a. Ann Wilson's a god. Like I can't. They had a great.
Ann Wilson is a god.
70s
She's a goddess.
Output. They had a great 80s output.
Dude, I'm loving that 80s stuff more and more. Dude, I can't.
It's so good.
I need to dive deeper into it. I only have one of their 80s records, but the song "These Dreams," I just can't get enough of that too.
So good. Their 80s stuff is so good.
Did you see the Heart tribute to Zeppelin
when they made Robert Plant? You mean when they made Robert Plant cry? You mean when they brought tears to the face of the man,
eyes, dude?
When she sung "Stairway to Heaven"? When all of us were like, okay, if Rob doesn't want to tour, can we make this happen? Can we do this? Because I will watch that.
Dude, I don't think there is anybody that should be Robert Plant tunes, but Ann Wilson, dude.
Can we make that happen? Jason Bonham on drums, John Paul Jones on bass, and Jimmy Page on guitar, Ann Wilson on vocals.
You can have.
I would kill to see that.
You can have Nancy in there too,
for sure.
Acoustic.
For sure.
Dude, her rendition of that did not try in any way to blow doors on the song.
She doesn't have
to. Just nailed it.
She just opens her mouth and great things happen.
One of the greatest voices in rock music.
If there's not a little friction between Ann and Nancy, because they're not doing anything together right now. They're off doing their own shit, and
not too bad.
I don't really know if either one of them, as much as you don't want to him and haw and put people in certain boxes, they don't quite work apart. Let's put the magic back together. Let's get the Zeppelin boys going. Let's do some...
And Ann Wilson, maybe this point doesn't need to be made, but in the early days of Heart, she was a thinner woman. Over the years, she filled out, got a little bigger. I think she took some unfair criticism for that shit.
Horribly unfair. And let's from just her own record label trying to hide her in the music video.
There you go. Fuck that shit. Because that woman, to this day, is gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
As fuck. She's got to be approaching 70, and she's looking hella beautiful.
Oh, she's amazing.
And pipes of an angel, man.
That woman could sing the phone book, and I'd just sit there like...
One of my all-time favorite.
But I did not
voices.
pick them.
I didn't pick them either.
Because as much as I love them, they didn't really... Not like Hanoi Rocks.
Damn.
The band that almost every Sunset Strip band blatantly ripped off and will tell you straight up and plain that they ripped them off. Aerosmith ripped them off. Motley Crue ripped them off. Guns N' Roses ripped them off. They all bit.
They did, except these guys never sounded like
none of them
a hair metal band.
They were just so unique.
The closest thing that they would be to the New York Dolls, but they were really 50s inspired rockers.
Hard rocking, hard living, hard partying. They were on the precipice of amazing greatness.
Were they from Denmark? Finland.
And Razzle, their drummer, dies in a horrible car accident, and he was really the heartbeat of that band.
Yeah.
And losing him they tried to use other drummers, but they were too close, and they had too much going on. And
how many albums did they get to make before he died?
Well, like three or four? Yeah.
Well,
I have the box set.
They have Desperation Blues.
I'd have to get
What's that one?
This one's what, 2 steps? 2 steps.
Yeah. I always like the Hanoi Rocks, Bangkok Shocks.
Don't You Ever Leave Me. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. This record is just so good. If you've only heard certain things, you haven't really gotten to these guys, go give them a spin. They're dope.
When it came to H, this one was pretty clear.
Well, you didn't go Hanoi and you didn't go Heart.
No.
Did you go Helix?
I went Hall & Oates.
Oh, snap!
Again, it's people's names.
How did I forget them?
But Hall & Oates is kind of a group name, I guess. This is the most ridiculous album cover.
One of the greatest groups that ever assembled.
I just love them, dude. I'm glad you... I figured we've connected on Hall & Oates before, but I didn't know if you were maybe going to be like...
No, dude. They are...
What is going on right here?
They're amazing.
I
friggin' love Hall & Oates so much.
I love them.
One of the greatest groups to ever.
This one isn't even called Hall & Oates. It's Daryl Hall and John Oates. Huh. But
H2O.
The close up nobody sweat on their face.
I think we talked about this in certain parts. Bands come out with greatest hits records, and a lot of times it's just a money-making grab to, you might change labels, and now the new label wants to make some money on the stuff, so they put together all this stuff. Hall & Oates has an almost untouchable greatest hits compilation. 2 whole discs of just amazing shit that you'd be lucky to have a career.
So is that a later one that would be like Hall & Oates Gold or
something like something like that? But it couldn't fit it all onto one disc.
Because I don't think
apology of
right. Because I don't think there actually was. I don't think there actually was a Hall & Oates greatest hits at some point that really was that.
No.
But once they hit a certain point, yeah, it's more or less an anthology, and it's like you said, unfuckwithable, because those guys,
unfuckwithable.
A friend treated me to go see concert. Go 25 songs that were just.
It was like when I saw every Police. Song.
Yeah,
there was no let up. Every single song was a fucking monster. Every single one.
Over less albums.
2+ hours of. Who has a career like that?
Well, that's because essentially every song on every Police record is a great tune.
Yeah.
Hall & Oates maybe.
Yeah,
comes close. There's some clinkers in there maybe, but they've got a lot of records. But hit after hit after hit, they're a hit factory, man.
No, they're amazing.
Nice.
A struggle for me and knew exactly where I was gonna go. I was super stoked that Jay went with the Go-Go's. Congratulations on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, even though I put zero emphasis into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think it's a joke, but congratulations, ladies. You absolutely deserve it. I thought about them. I thought about Genesis. But
the Georgia Satellites, huh?
I did. I had to be true to myself. Grateful Dead.
I just could not go there, bro.
I am unapologetic.
Yeah.
Deadhead. I love the Grateful Dead. And normally when people are like, I'll like, don't even listen to their studio records. Like, you got to be really, really into them to love their studio stuff. Listen to their live shit. It's more dynamic. It's just more amazing than they're almost handcuffed to what they can do in the studio. That live, they can just let it fly. So
I haven't discovered that magic, dude. I've heard some live stuff that I dig.
All you need is the Pacific Northwest recordings from '74 when they put the wall sound together and changed the history of rock and roll music. So just go from there and then just let the muse take you where it takes you.
I didn't know you were such a nerd.
Huge.
I prefer their studio stuff. The hands down best track they ever recorded is Touch of Grey. That is the best song they wrote. It's the best recording they ever did. Touch of Grey. That's their very best. And then I'd say one of the best things they did is the freaking Terrapin Suite, dude. That's a good
piece. Terrapin Station's a dope.
That's a good piece of recording right there. I like Working Man's Dead.
Great record.
I think American Beauty's pretty good.
Great record.
But I have heard some. I've heard some versions of Dark Star that I think are newly garbage.
Live though, and they can let it fly. Then you're getting the purest version. Not okay. Let's go back. Let's go back. One place to age, because I want to frame this in a way with a band that you know that I love. You can go see Hall & Oates. If they played coast to coast, you could see them 15 times across and you'd get the same exact show every single time.
This is true.
With the Grateful Dead, they could have the same exact getting the same show every time. It's completely, they'll play 3 nights in every single town and every single show is going to be different, even if the track list is the same. That's how amazing they were. I mean, and they don't get the credit that they,
and a dumpster fire could be different each night that you light it, you know. Like, no, I get that.
Look at him getting snarky like me. I appreciate that. I like it.
I get that.
I enjoy it.
I mean, I think Grateful Dead is a huge phenomenon of a band and did something nobody else really did.
You mean change the history of how rock and roll shows are played? Like no metal show would exist without that wall of sound they created? You mean that?
Yeah.
That thing?
They sure made a lot of parking lots.
If you think I'm
dirty.
foolish, look it up.
They left a lot of parking lots really trashed.
Well, it's hard to clean up a parking lot when you're high on LSD, bro. It's not my fault.
I did pick Genesis. Geez,
that's not a bad pick though, and that's a great record.
Yeah, I love it. And I lean towards the 80s Genesis, but I do like the 70s progressive.
I might have gone Abacab.
Yeah.
But this is a great record.
I didn't pull Abacab because I have it I have it set aside to make this mix, and I just left it there and grabbed this one. But
no, that's Genesis is a great pick.
And like I said, the more progressive Genesis,
the Peter Gabriel
yes,
years.
But I kind of really like what happened when Phil took over, because it was kind of this clash of two,
almost like two different bands.
Yeah, but he was doing his solo stuff, but within this band, he's kind of doing that same pop, but trying to mesh it with a more progressive approach. And I think it's almost like something that shouldn't work, but it does. And I really dig it.
Where they lost me is when they got too commercial. Yeah. Later in the 80s, like early in the 80s.
Invisible Touch.
That's when that was like,
there was
what are you doing?
Some good
There's
stuff
still some good stuff, but like, nothing like their earlier.
Land of Confusion was pretty rad too. Yeah,
I don't know. Those first albums with
Abacab, dude. That's my favorite. That's my favorite shit.
That right there.
But yeah, Go-Go's I thought about. God, I almost pulled Georgia Satellites, that one record. I'm just kidding.
Got a little change in my pocket, going away. Call you on a telephone, girl. Give you a ring. Hey, you can't deny that. That's a great song.
That's a good tune.
Lasted how many years?
That whole record is actually pretty good.
I don't think I've heard one other song but that one. That's literally the only Georgia Satellite song.
I have that record. It's pretty good. It's just not the greatest. I don't know.
F was a monster.
Yeah.
F was a monster. F was really, really
probably all different.
Tore at me. I have a feeling that you and Jay are going to be the same. Jay went Fleetwood Mac.
No.
And I love Fleetwood Mac, and we all know how I feel about Fleetwood Mac. If you don't, go back and listen to the crappy records by bands you love. Listen to my Fleetwood Mac rant. I love them, but I couldn't pick them. It just wasn't. I knew he was going to pick them because of his love of
the Buck,
but I couldn't. So I really wanted to pick Fate's Warning. One of my absolute all-time favorite bands ever. I didn't pick them either. Because F is the first letter, the greatest band to ever play music.
Thank you, my friend.
It had to be. I wanted it to be. I love Fate's Warning so much. But Fugazi just has a special place.
Fugazi really did cross my mind.
In my heart. They're my favorite punk band ever. Spoiler alert if we ever do greatest punk bands ever. But if you ever want to try to start listening to their stuff, pick this record up.
It's not a bad place to
Play
start.
Play it over and over and over and over again. There is a video out there of some high school kids playing Repeater.
Yeah.
And it's
every
bit is awesome.
Wait, playing Repeater?
No, they're playing
Waiting Room.
Yeah. And it's every bit is amazing.
Aren't they like Christian?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
They do it really well. I mean, they put a lot of heart into it. It's really good.
Oh man. Just looking at just flipping through this and looking at the words, I can hear it in my head. Like
something that I felt about Fugazi for a long time, not so much when I was younger and I was just in the throes of loving their music so deeply. Later on, I started to really feel like they're a great example of the outcome really truly being so much bigger than the sum of its parts. Not to say that any of those four individuals aren't musicians, but the synergy of all four of them just something that you almost can't believe they were capable of doing.
What the writer and
another
emo probably started from there. Shoegaze started from there.
Well, there was another band from DC that Guy Picciotto came from, Rites of Spring. Fugazi and Rites of Spring had to be the sort of foundation of the emo punk kind of thing. You know, bands like Sound and stuff like that coming along later. There's another band in the punk category that starts with F that I kind of thought about too, which is Fear.
Oh yeah, I love them.
I love Fear.
My son
One of
has
my
gotten
all-time-
into them lately,
Oh, no
just
shit.
because of beef bologna.
Nice. One of my all-time favorite bands, but they only had 2 great records, and that's it. Fugazi is a great pick. They crossed my mind, but I went with a band that I also deeply called Funkadelic.
I thought about them. I thought about they were in mind because F is just there's so
Yeah.
many.
You can really make a cool sounding name with F. Fugazi, Funkadelic, Fear, Flotsam and Jetsam. I don't know.
Yeah, that's great.
But Funkadelic, George Clinton, Bernie Worrell, Bootsy Collins, to me, in the course of music history, these guys
I'm
are
surprised you
huge.
didn't bring Maggot Brain in.
I almost
That
grabbed Maggot Brain, but
Album
my
cover
copy,
is so dope.
it is, but you can really see Funkadelic clear here. This is their debut, and Maggot Brain follows, I believe. But does that come after Free Your Mind? I can't remember. But my copy of Maggot Brain is trashed. This one looks nicer, so I brought that. Yeah, I kind of thought of a few different F ones and stuck with Funkadelic.
Man, how do I frame this? I think there are certain bands that play certain types of music and they want to appeal to everyone. And there are bands that just we're gonna play, and if people happen to dig it, I think Parliament did that. They didn't care who was in the crowd.
No, you're right.
We hope that didn't say we're only making music for Black people.
Not
or
at
we're
all.
only making this. They said we're gonna create this thing that we love, and we hope that you like it. And by doing that, everybody loved them.
Yeah,
because they were just.
Especially when
they could have been a joke. Were so good.
Yeah.
On their
especially
instruments
when
that they
switched to Parliament from Funkadelic.
Bootsy Collins on his own is just
ridiculous. He had been playing with James Brown and then hooked up with those guys.
What a resume!
And
then
you're
hooked up with
absolutely
Delight.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. You're absolutely right, though. I watched a Parliament Funkadelic doc too long ago, and that really was their thing. Like, along the lines of what you're saying, they would have played what they wanted to play regardless. But culturally, from a human
they did not try to sell out for the white audience.
No, but they wanted everybody on board. Everybody come to the party. It was a party every time they played. And if you watch footage of that shit, if you watch footage of that shit, it's nuts. It is a good time party band.
City.
Yeah. Heck yeah. But in a way, Fugazi was the same kind of band, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody was invited to partake of what they were
not
about.
Not quite as broadly appealing as Parliament.
No, maybe not.
A little bit more introspective.
Maybe
I don't really put Fugazi on when I want to party. I will put Parliament on when I want.
You can put Waiting Room on when you want to party.
For sure.
That's a party jam.
We on E. E was super tough. E was super tough, and he came between two bands. I had to fight.
It was not tough for me, my friend.
I had to fight.
Exactly.
Jay picked. I don't even know how to pronounce this.
Enough's enough.
How did you know? Emphysarium.
What the heck? I'm not reading the rest of it. But what?
Emphysarium. I don't know. I should have looked it up. I wanted to pick ELO.
We're not dissing you, Jason. I just have
Tell me who that is.
I have no idea who that is.
Text me. I wanted to pick ELO. I even asked my girl. I was like, in between this band or ELO? She's like, ELO. I was like, yeah, you're probably right, but I'm not gonna pick them.
You picked the fucking Eagles, didn't you?
Three Elements. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Man, I jumped to the wrong conclusion there.
Yeah, you did.
Nice, my brother.
Baby, look at this.
Dude.
Look at this amazingness. Do you remember the very September? Yeah, baby.
And that's a later Earth, Wind, Fire song, but it is a
Yeah.
beautiful jam.
They're amazing.
Those guys are
Earth,
deep.
Wind, and Fire. E.
Earth, Wind, and Fire goes deep, dude. And I can't even claim.
As much as I love ELO, I had to go with the.
Hey, dude, those guys are important as hell. But I did go with ELO.
I kind of was hoping you were, so we could both talk. We could talk about both bands.
I mean, I want to say I love Earth, Wind, and Fire as much. I think they're incredible. And Maurice White is drummer, soul of the band.
When you look at them, really kind of opposite sides of the same. And they play a lot of stuff kind of similar, a lot of harmonies, a lot of layering, a lot of big
orchestral,
big sounds, a lot
stuff.
Things that you put on in the second. Was it Mr. Blue Sky? The second the needle hits Mr. Blue Sky, are you in a bad mood anymore? No, never.
I am actually in the
sing
best.
A song when Earth, Wind, and Fire, when sing a song, bro. You're not in a bad mood anymore.
Exactly. You're
Boogie Wonderland. Come on, bro.
That's a good comparison, man. That's a good parallel between the two.
They're very similar.
Oh man, yeah. ELO just came right to my mind. Lately, ELO is just like my happy place.
Yeah, it is 100%.
I loved it for a long time. Our last episode on album covers, I showed their album cover where they used that picture from the Wizard of Oz. This one has Mr. Blue Sky on it.
That's such a great song.
And then songs like Telephone Line, Strange Magic.
My ex was like,
Turn to Stones.
I'm in a foul mood. I feel like I'm spinning. And I sent her 2 songs. She's like, I knew you'd come through. I sent her Rhythm of the Night by DeBarge.
Nice.
You cannot be sad with that song. And I sent her Mr. Blue Sky.
Nice.
It was done. She's like,
Rhythm of the Night, dude. I love you, man. I love that shit. I love that shit so much.
Fucking best.
Dude, DeBarge tune. It's solo El DeBarge from the movie Short Circuit. It's called Honey.
Yeah.
Damn. Love it.
Johnny, she said. Smile. Look the other way. Oh, Jay went exactly where he was going to. He went Danzig for D.
All right.
Amazing band.
Damn.
I thought about going DRI, but I couldn't pick them, so I wore their shirt instead because
that's cool. DRI is an important band, man.
I had to pick somebody that just there's something about the way they write a song and the way they craft something and the way that their lyrical content just kind of hits me personally, that from the heard them I was over the moon.
Oh,
yeah, you already know what it is. It's the Descendants.
Yeah, I know how much you like the Descendants.
This band hits every friggin' chord. It's probably the first band that really made pop punk and did it unbelievably well.
Yeah.
You could say whatever you want about Green Day. The first Green Day records I really, really liked. Doesn't exist without the Descendants.
No.
They basically copied and pasted what they were doing and saw, oh man, we can make punk, but we can make it melodic and we can make it hit and we can make it sound.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a certain way.
I think there was a lot of other bands, maybe even more than Green Day. I mean, Green Day definitely had that pop punk element. A lot of the early Lookout bands did.
Yeah.
And then even Epitaph bands.
Which is
Green Day had a little bit more.
Put Operation Ivy on my O.
Dude, I thought Op Ivy for O as well. but they had one album and a few
that's
singles.
the reason why.
The Descendants are great. I really like that album. The one with the toilet roll on it.
Oh yeah, it's Kai. What's
I
that?
can't think of the title.
This one.
It's a band I didn't.
That's the whole thing. Everything Sucks.
Everything Sucks. No, that's not the one.
It's toilet paper roll.
Yeah, I know, but it's actually
Such a
on the
great
cover of the record. They're a band that I couldn't really appreciate as much as other people did, but then that movie, Filmage, the documentary about them, that gave me some insight. The drummer Billson really helped the direction that Black Flag went in when Henry joined the band. I think he was the perfect drummer for them to get for that phase of Black Flag as well. But he's the heart and soul of this band, even though Milo was such an important part of it.
He even says that though, like he doesn't like it builds on.
Doing something that became a fucking just sort of cliche over again in the 90s, this punk thing. These guys, that was the real deal. It wasn't a pretense. That was just how they felt. And authentically awesome band. Well, can you pick for D?
Danzig, because you're a super huge Glenn Danzig fan.
I'm a huge Depeche Mode fan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I love Depeche Mode. I wish I could have seen them live. Almost did, and it fell through.
I don't have this one.
This is probably my all-around.
This record.
That's my all-around favorite.
I love them too, but I don't have this record.
Violator is one of their very best. Oh man, Violator is possibly their greatest record. I don't know.
I just get so sick. People don't.
My Celebration is my
play
favorite.
their.
Personal Jesus.
Personal Jesus. One more time, I'm gonna personal justice in my.
Yeah, there's actually several other songs on that record that I love more. But yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into it. I just think Martin Gore and David Gaughan as kind of co-songwriters and having similar but different voices that sort of combine in a unique
something
way.
So mesmerizing about some of their stuff that you're just like, all right.
I just think for a band that in considered definitive of the 80s in a way, the sound of the 80s synth music. These guys were deeper.
And if it takes over your obsession with Glenn Danzig.
I'm fairly obsessed with Glenn Danzig, but Danzig the band isn't gonna. I'd pick the Doors. I could have picked the Doors. I love the Doors.
I love the Doors. You know how obsessed I was with Jim Morrison.
Danzig's not a bad pick, though. I don't
disrespect
any of Jason's picks.
I tried to get cutesy with my C pick. I was gonna go Circle Jerks. I tried really hard to pick Candlemass, one of my favorite doom metal bands.
Nice.
But in the end, Jay and I picked the same band because sometimes greatness, you just can't overlook greatness. And this band was truly great. Ours.
You have that cool anthology.
Yes. Because that was in the phase where I didn't want to own every single by some bands, and now I'm in the I want to own every single record. So
I remember when that came out, though. That's a good.
Yeah, I think this is Rhino Records, and they really pour some love into these things. Yeah, I mean, just what I needed. Best Friend's Girl, You're All I Got Tonight, Moving in Stereo,
oh, man,
Let's Go, Candio, Dangerous Time. Come on, man.
Stereo used to be one of the songs I obsessed over for a while.
Touch and Go, Shake It Up, Since You're Gone.
Yeah, those are all big.
You Might Think, Drive, Magic, Hello Again, Why Can't I Have You, Tonight She Cure the Girl.
Dude,
Give me a break, man.
So, Drive, that's a great tune.
Benjamin Orr.
I don't know how old I was yesterday when I found out that Benjamin Orr sang Just What I Needed, because I don't think I saw a video or live footage of them. I just always heard it and assumed it was Rick Ocasek singing in a style that fit that song or something, but that kind of tripped me out to find out it was sung by Benjamin Orr. But Orr was an important.
His first solo record was pretty good too.
Yeah,
I'd Stay the Night on it.
Rest in peace, guy.
And Rick.
Yeah, Rick's gone now.
Both gone now.
Yeah,
Cars. Never gonna get a Cars reunion.
Great band, lots of huge hits.
Huge monster.
But I knew right away the band that was my number one pick for C. Clearwater Revival. And if you're bowing your head because you don't like Creedence Clearwater Revival,
can you not remember this from the last time we talked about this?
No, I don't remember. Oh, you just hate this band?
I hate it. I hate John Fogerty. Wow. I hate that hillbilly-ish. Unless you're like 38 Special or...
No, I just don't hear it that way. It doesn't sound to me.
I just can't.
To me,
I can't stand his voice. I can't stand anything about it.
To me, it sounds like great Americana hooky songwriting. And these guys have two 20-song relations that are just top songs. Everybody knows those songs, sings along with those songs.
Not everybody.
Yeah.
Those of us with taste don't listen to that shit.
Wow. You're really coming that hard against Creedence
I can't stand him.
All right,
I can't stand that Lemon Skinhead shit either.
I guess I should have picked The Cure or something. Maybe would have.
I'd have been dope. Then we could have been like,
I would have too. I love
so many amazing Cure records.
But Creedence, important American rock band.
Although, was it Robert Smith? Stop with the fucking makeup shit, bro. You're like 80 now. Like, let it fucking go, dude. It's not. It was edgy and fucking.
Well, I look at it this way. I think anybody
horrible.
Should be able to express themselves, manifest whatever they want. But personally, when you're a young man, you can make yourself pretty. You can put on makeup and you can be kind of effeminate and pretty and cross. I
don't know if that's what he was doing. I mean, and I've never researched this, so this is just me spitballing. I don't know if that was his goal, because it didn't seem like he was trying to look female or
not necessarily look female, but I think look.
To me, it came off as a I'm defying your terms of convention. Sure. I'm going to wear makeup and not make it look good and put it in your face that I can. To be,
I think that's a fair assessment, but I thought it made him feel beautiful in his own way,
maybe
in an artistic way. But older and saggier, plumper,
it looks real bad.
Like even doing his hair up the way he does now,
real bad.
Yeah, he could tone it down
and can look. We all feel a certain way about where Morrissey is now. But can you guys just get in a room and shake hands and just leave each other the fuck alone now? Because
yeah, if you two don't like each other, that's fine.
Cool, but stop trading
each other music.
Yeah, just stop.
To say that one band makes crappy music compared to the other, that's stupid.
It's not true.
You should both respect each other's music.
I'm blown away by Jay's B pick. I kind of knew it was gonna come, and
I kind of would skip B.
He picked the B-52s. I'd never gotten it. I mean, yeah, like Rock Lobster's hilarious. And
I like the B-52s, but I could think of at least two bands that I would think Jay would like more than the B-52s.
But I can't think of any band that starts with B that's more important or better or anything than fucking Black Sabbath. Pick an era of Black Sabbath and they're better.
This is where I wish I could just leave.
Did you pick the Butthole Surfers?
No.
Did you pick?
Maybe I might as well have.
You did not pick Black Sabbath?
Dude, I picked something great, and it was something that just was kind of more on my head at the time. But you guys know how I feel about Black Sabbath, right?
No, you don't have to explain yourself to me, bro.
No, earlier in our episode here, you said Black Sabbath when you were talking about something else, and my
Ozzy.
Yeah, and my heart sank, and I had to
you
hide.
Because you did Black Sabbath as the greatest band to ever
have picked the Beastie Boys.
I mean, I can't be mad at that. Come on, dude.
Thank you.
The fucking Beastie Boys.
I don't know why I didn't pick Black Sabbath. Because they're like one of the most important bands.
This is a great record cover, and it shows them, but Paul's Boutique is their best record. But no, Beastie Boys are great, dude.
I
can't dog the Beastie.
I would at least say in the last like 25, 30 years, we'd have to go back 30 years at least. One of the most innovative, creative, individual, unique bands that's come down the pike.
If there was going to be a number two, Beasties would have been number two.
No, the thing that made me sweat and kind of want to leave was that Black Sabbath didn't even occur to me. I think I just.
But that's the point of the. That's the point of the exercise. Is what hit you first. And if that hit you first, then roll it.
I think the Beastie Boys are one of the raddest musical groups, not even from a rap hip hop standpoint, which I think that they very organically fit in there. They come from hip hop culture, but they're just completely outside any category, in my opinion. They just make the weird kind of music that they make, and I think the Beastie Boys are one of the most groups ever. Just creative weirdos.
I don't agree. Let's get today's A pick out of the way. We went backwards season because we both knew we were going to have the same pick at A. I was going to have the same pick at Z. Jay picked AC/DC, and I knew that he was going to because he's a massive, massive AC/DC fan.
I'm a big AC/DC fan. You're a huge AC/DC fan. AC/DC is a perfect pick for A.
Absolutely. Would have been my pick if this band didn't exist.
You have to say the letter A to say their name.
If this band didn't exist, that's who I would have picked. I would have been shown flick of the switch.
When I walked in the door 2 hours ago, he goes, well, we both know that we picked A, the same A.
We still haven't spoken the band to each other. That's how much we know that there's no possible way we could be wrong. It can only be ABBA, the greatest pop band ever assembled.
Do you know how much it means to me to hear you say that phrase? The greatest pop group ever.
Ever assembled. Ever. And kids, if you don't take anything out of this entire thing, please listen to me. Don't shit where you eat. Okay? Do not shit where you eat. The reason why we don't have decades more amazing music from these lovely people is because they shat on their food. They hooked up. They got married, shit went bad, they got a divorce, they tried to get through it. It was some pretty good breakup songs, and then they went off into the four winds. That was what, 81? We could have had an entire decade of the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s worth of music that we don't have because they had to bang each other and get married.
Yeah. Well, they were kind of irresistible to each other.
They were probably irresistible to the world. Well, the ladies were. The guys are not. I don't know what those Scandinavian dudes are doing, but these are not like some aha-looking dudes.
I want to emphasize
that fucking good.
I also want to emphasize that in about 10 years, maybe 8 years, how many records did they make? 7?
7 or 8.
To me, they're one of those bands that there's not really any clinker filler crap on their records. Some songs are bigger hits than others. Some are more memorable as hits, but they were putting out solid music. And it's not surface level pop music either. It's musically rich. It's lyrically rich. The hooks and melodies are
all over the radio.
Yeah, what do got there?
Yeah, Ring Ring, Waterloo, ABBA, Arrival, the album, Voulez-Vous, Super Trooper, The Visitors,
makes me mad.
Dancing Queen, Knowing Me, Knowing You, Take a Chance on Me, Lay Love on Me, Super Trooper, Winner Takes It All, Money, Money, Money,
Takes It All,
Nikita, Fernando, Gimme, 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 Does Your Mother Know, Name of the Game.
Every single one of those tunes.
There can be no other. I remember having a K-Tel Records Magic of ABBA 2. I still have it in my storage unit somewhere, and I would play that incessantly.
Was it a vinyl?
Yeah, it was
a double LP.
Two double LP.
Yeah,
and you'd hear it on the radio. You'd hear it everywhere. They were the harmonies, lyrics, the music. You couldn't put a group together today that could even come close to matching their greatness.
And it was music that could appeal probably to any age, but it was adult music too. It was fun pop music to some. It was also adult themed stuff. I just think that they're a deep pop group. I don't know how else to say it.
Unabashed lover, extreme metal, like gut-wrenchingly brutal, and ABBA is one of my favorite groups of all time. One of the greatest musical bands ever assembled, greatest pop band ever put together.
I have most of the ABBA albums. I'm missing a couple on vinyl in my collection.
I don't have any of this,
but I also really want to have a vinyl copy of ABBA Gold just because. Bang bang.
There's two. I don't have the second one. There's a volume 2. Now they're re-releasing all the regular records with 75 million different.
Oh, wow!
So that's it, man. A through Z.
I walked
Z
in the door and you go. We both know we picked the same.
I did.
So let's start with Z. So
we could end on a high.
We didn't want to start and both go. Oh yeah, we both.
I just wanted to end on talking about how great.
But of course, when you said that, it didn't say, "Oh yeah, it's ABBA." Right?
Yeah, no, we did not say. Let's double check
because we don't do that.
I didn't need because I knew who it was going to be. I had 5 things. And then I went to the mailbox, and my 5 things became 6 things because in the mail today, on Blu-ray for the very first time, The Wraith.
I don't know this.
My God, Charlie Sheen.
And then Randy Quaid.
Nick Cassavetes, who's now a director of films like The Notebook. It's a ghost movie about a car and a revenge, and it's epically 80s.
Missed that movie, dude.
Who do I want to pick?
Yeah.
If you're from Humboldt, can't go without a little who are I, D-R-I.
And they're come play.
Love them. Speaking of brutal metal from Greece, Rotting Christ.
Okay. Yeah.
This band is so good.
They're from Greece.
So under the radar. All their records are amazing. This is Rituals. Pick it up. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Another band from over the ocean. You'll probably know this record. That's what they put out 3 records before that. They were a band. I think they were called Schoolboy before then, playing pop songs, and they were like, no, we got to quit. We want to do the metal.
Yeah.
Loudness, Thunder in the East.
They do their metal in a really unique way, though, man.
They have 25 records. They've never stopped recording.
Oh.
And the original lead singer finally came back.
Okay.
And you know, I'd show you a Biz Marquee record if I had one, but they're hard to find. So go listen to some Cinderella in remembrance of Jeff LaBar's contribution to 80s metal.
Dude, right there.
And they were really, and they were good. They're probably better than they get credit for.
Well, in that first album they made,
Night Songs, that record is so good.
One thing about Night Songs also is that that's a record that back in the 80s and maybe 90s, some people would act like too cool for that shit, but then eventually like, that's a good record.
That song especially is very unique with the way it starts.
Night Songs?
And then you're like, all right. And then his voice, you're like, for me, it didn't take long to get sold because I was into that. Like anything with like kind of a unique vocal style, like it kind of into. But
I started with the video for Nobody's Fool.
That's a good song.
That sucked me in.
Somebody Save Me with
Nothing for Nothing.
What is it? The Jovi Boys in there?
Oh, maybe.
I think the Jovi
Once
Boys.
Around the Ride.
All right, that's it. Another episode in the warts and all. I'll watch it later, hopefully.
And this is a two-parter because we had a glitch in the Matrix or something.
Which, tell all your friends, get that subscriber level up. Maybe we can buy some real equipment.
Yeah. Share, subscribe,
hit the buttons. Get in the comment section. Tell us what your A to Z is.
Yeah.
Let us know. Tell this guy why CCR is a dumpster fire. Parting words?
Grateful Dead, you mean?
Parting words?
Creedence Forever.
Fuck Amazon. Long live independent radio stations, radio songs, radio hits, the radio that we love. Long live independent music stores and
physical
however
media.
You get your music. We love you. See you next week.
Thank you.